Today in the crypto space, we're seeing a bit of relief to the upside. Bitcoin above that $65,000 mark, and Ethereum also above that $3,500 mark, up approximately 4%. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are looking pretty good, nice and green. We have Matic, AVAX, New York Protocol getting a nice bounce to the upside, Brett making a nice comeback, and FET, nice green candles. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that has been retracing, and currently it looks like it's looking for that support, and it may have found it, and that project is called Joystream. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. The general market, as you can see, overall market cap, is still to the downside. It's still grinding to the downside despite a bit of relief to the upside. Right, we do see that the overall trading volume did get a nice little spike to the upside, suggesting that maybe some people are interested in seeing a bit of a comeback. But then in the short term, we're getting a little bit of a dip as well, right? And some of the market cap is falling. It was a lot stronger earlier on today. So nonetheless, I feel like the bulls are trying to answer back, and this is great to see some green relief. However, guys, just be prepared that we could see a bearish response once again. I hate to be bearish here, but we have to make sure that we don't get trapped up into these bullish rallies, because ultimately I'm not totally convinced that the bears are done pushing down absolutely yet, right? We could come down for another capitulation, another sweep of the lows, and inflict a bit more pain, and this is why we have to be prepared. Take those profits, guys. If you happen to get into a New York Protocol based on yesterday's signal, if you happen to buy a bit of space based on the punt idea, the fact is you buy into those narratives that have been very weak, and then all of a sudden you get those rallies. Guys, take those profits, because you never know. We could come down for another sweep of the lows. All right, guys, we see Ethereum looking really good within structure. Bitcoin also grinding to the downside, slow and steady. However, looking for that relief, looking for that maybe bullish divergence that we're going to be able to identify, and then potentially get into a nice, very strong long position here. We have a lot of these altcoins, although getting a bit of relief today, they're still within a structure to the downside. Unfortunately, look at this. We got Litecoin getting a bounce. We got a lot of these little bounces throughout the market. Even FET is doing great, up 23% today. However, it didn't make a higher high. It didn't do much. Now, if we come down, get a confirmation low, a higher low, I'm in, and with big positions. I'm happy to see that happen. Put a stop loss right underneath. Let this thing rally back up to the previous price action so we can make those gains. But ultimately, don't get trapped up, because as you can see, the character of this current trend is still our friend, meaning lower lows and lower highs. Even FET, that it's a really good gainer today, didn't make a higher high. It didn't really break any character of the structure, so we have to be very patient here. Caspa, the same thing, as you see the rest of them. So if you got in based on the 4 hour, and this is something that I mentioned last night on the live stream, if you got in on a position based on the 4 hour that you expected that relief based on all the signals, guys, get out based on the 4 hour. Don't expect a daily reversal based on an entry on the 4 hour. That's where people get wrecked. They start zooming out after getting an entry on the lower time frames. They start zooming out and hoping for a moonshot. Guys, take profit, trail up a stop loss. Okay, so that's what we should be doing right now. Maker looking strong. And the reason why I say it's trail up a stop loss, because stop losses are great. That doesn't mean that you have to exit your positions or take massive amounts of profit, right? Trailing up a stop loss means putting your stop loss well into profit, just in case the market decides to roll over. At least you have that safety net to exit your positions in profit. That's exactly what you want to do. And of course, scraping off the top is not a bad idea, 10% here and there. As you can see, Arweave getting a bit of relief. I feel like Arweave could be in a great buy opportunity. We got double-digit gains in the last little while for for some of them. Look at Ondo doing pretty good. We have Phantom doing great, but could this be just a dead cat bounce? Because there's only a select few that have been looking pretty good, like even Filera doing pretty good. It looked very similar to the FET structure, coming up to previous price action, but not giving us a higher high. As you can see, like even, what else do we have? We have other projects, a lot of projects here. Gala Games is not doing much, and you can see a lot of them are still grinding to the downside. We have Ethereum named service, ENS doing great, 21%, breaking structure. This is a higher high, convinced higher high, and we're in a bull flag scenario here on ENS. So pretty good stuff there. And that's about it, guys. So if we were really bullish at the current moment, guys, you know, I understand this is a really green day, but just be careful with those gains. The market wants to hunt them and take them back from you. All right, guys, I know you want to talk about charts, so let's begin looking at Bitcoin. What's going on here with Bitcoin? Bitcoin at the end of the day is still within structure. You can see that big picture. It is in that bull flag. It is slowly coming down to lower levels. Yesterday, we identified the possibility of getting some sort of reaction in this zone. Now, if Bitcoin does get that reaction and eventually, you know, gets a pop to the upside, we can see the altcoin market, you know, for the most part, the bullish projects will keep up with Bitcoin, maybe even outperform it. And if Bitcoin goes sideways for a little while here, we might see a bit of relief in the altcoin market as well. People, you know, taking a bit of profit off of Bitcoin or exiting positions and getting into altcoins and so on and so forth. But at the current moment, what leads me to believe that we could be coming down to the bottom of the range is the fact that we broke all kinds of structure and we're making those lower lows and lower highs. The trend is our friend, guys, until we get an indication of a bottom right here, even on lower time frames, right? The 4-hour looked really, really good last night. That's why, you know, I understood the thesis on whether to get into a long position, particularly on Near Protocol and other projects that are currently at horizontal support levels. Now, Bitcoin at the current moment is not at a very strong support. Just this bottom of the volume gap, right into this node of volume, right into here. That's all it is. If we come down here, different story, guys. Then we're at a level where we got a lot of emotional individuals and we got a great risk to reward ratio entry right into the zone. In the meantime, I'm going to keep my eyes open for great opportunities, and I believe today I found a good one for you. Joystream is at a good zone, right? Of course, Joystream has a lot good bullish tech behind it. 100%, you know, decentralized media in the sense that you're looking for decentralized you know, video and all that, streaming and all that good stuff. So we can get a lot of content basically without influence and so on, and you can be free about what you watch. We kind of appreciate that. A decentralized video platform, a community that we can build without censorship. We appreciate all of those good things, but at the end of the day, the price action is great at the current moment. So we'll talk about that in a second, but just keep in mind that Bitcoin at the current moment could still be pushing down to oversold conditions, right? We're not completely out of the woods here with Bitcoin, and the trend, the EMA is facing down right histogram bars. So if you got in on a trade on the 4-hour, be careful and get out on the 4-hour, right? So Bitcoin right now showing a bit of green. EMA cross, maybe one little red histogram bar, multiple drives of bullish divergence right here into the trend. We lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the expansions. The trend, the momentum looking okay. Another signs of multiple bullish divergences here on the 4-hour. So it's looking pretty good. As the price comes down, we see the momentum shifting to the upside. All good stuff on the 4-hour, but the daily still looking negative. So be careful. Now let's jump right into the Joystream chart and let's, you know, reflect on what Bitcoin's doing. And if Bitcoin gets that rejection or continues in its bearish trend based on the daily, and even maybe a bit of relief on the 4-hour and then continuation to the downside, what's going to happen here for Joystream? Let's zoom out here for a second. Let's get back onto the daily. I want you to see exactly what is happening here with Joystream. The fact is that we're coming down into the apex of the wedge, right? You know, this wedge, this triangular formation, as we get close to the apex and as we get closer to critical levels of support, we could get that reaction. Now, this is an area that identified very, very early on, this volume gap. I like this area based on structure. We did get some relief to the upside, boom, rejection, and come down for that lower low. Now we're in a very similar boat. We're in a very similar scenario than we were right here. The difference is that we're at lower levels. The difference is is that the big picture retracement from swing a low all the way down here to the swing high. Let me make this bigger. To the swing high, we're down to about an 886 retracement. If we get the Fibonacci's and we start looking at what's really happening here, you can see quickly, and we zoom in a little bit so you can see this. We're at an 886 perfectly, almost on the dot, an 886 retracement, which is classified as a very deep retracement and a very opportunistic retracement to take full advantage of the opportunity, right? So what we have to understand is that horizontal supports are here. Now, they're not strong. I'll admit they're not the strongest. The reality is the majority of the support that we could get in the immediate short term could be at about 0.0057. And that's based on this node of supply and demand right down here. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible that we get down there. But I feel at the current moment, as we hang into this volume gap, not only we hanging in with the volume gap and respecting it, tops and bottoms, and going sideways here, but we're filling up a bit of volume. And if you look at the volume histogram bars down here, we're getting a sense of market participation as well. Volume is kicking in right here as we go sideways. Now, for the best part, okay, so we identified possible horizontal support right here. The best part is look at the momentum. Guys, the momentum is looking epic. I'm going to keep this chart above. I'll make it a bit smaller so we can keep this in mind, and we can follow along what's happening with the momentum, and we can also take a look at the trend, because at the end of the day, the momentum currently, everything on this oscillator is suggesting bullish divergence. Everything. Price action is coming down very, very clearly, as can be seen, and to the point that in the last little while we've been actually flatlining a bit. As you can see, the price action is kind of going sideways, but still slightly coming down. But look at the oscillators. Look at the expansions. Every bearish move to the downside, every bearish expansion is literally getting weaker and weaker and weaker as the price action comes to a complete halt to the downside. The bears are showing weakness. Then all of a sudden we have the momentum. The momentum is doing a very similar thing as the price is coming down and potentially flatlining. The momentum is diverging from the price action. It's going up. So that means that eventually the bears will show their exhaustion. The bears will give up and we'll see some sort of bullish response. The volatility is pushing to the upside. We are in overbought conditions regards to volatility, but guys, that's the name of the game. We know that volatility is very volatile, to, no pun intended there, but nonetheless, it does go up and down. And what we want to see is how the bulls can maintain a very oversold volatility state right up to this level. If we can maintain it, great. If we come back down, maybe back test and get oversold again, we can get into a fresh long and anticipate an eventual breakout of this level. Again, guys, everything looks like it wants to roll to the upside and get a bit of relief, and we'll get back into the price action in a second, but let's look at the trend. You can see that the trend, not a lot of projects are doing this at this current moment. Not a lot of them are doing this. So we got to understand that at this state, we are seeing divergence again, multiple drives of bullish divergence, and as the price actions coming down, look at the expansion of the trend. Multiple bullish divergences. EMAs are trekking to the upside slowly, trying to get into the bullish control zone. We currently have the EMAs open with green histogram bars. Although these histogram bars have been a bit fake outish in the last little while, I do like these expansions and these bullish divergences with the red dots, suggesting that we're ready for that reversal. So we're at critical levels. Price actions at critical levels. Momentum and trend are showing good confluence for a potential reversal, and the retracement is nice and deep down to the 886 retracement. We are in a volume gap suggesting support zone, and we are in the apex of a wedge to the downside. Guys, if we start showing signs of a change of character of this current structure, a change of character will suggest if we start making a higher high and then come down for a potential higher low, guys, it's starting to show that we could be in a pivot point scenario. Now, just also keep in mind another bullish fact, and I want to reposition this chart here for you guys a second, is look at the trend starting from here all the way here, touching here, we're breaking a bit of trend. So what could happen here is this could become a pivot where the price actually gets a bit of relief, boom, straight up, gets a bit of a rejection, comes down for a confirmation low, a higher low, and then comes back up and breaks the previous high for a higher high. Now we made a higher low, and then we go for a higher high, and then all of a sudden we confirm that the new trend has begun. The reality is, if we break above 2.9 or 3 cents, guys, it's looking pretty good. We got a volume gap above, and then we start hitting a little bit more resistance right into here. But this is why I have that red arrow there. I will be quick to de-risk. Take a bit of profit, 10% off the top, trail up stop losses, maybe just get into spot positions. Forget leverage, forget all those very volatile or very risky trading options. Well, all you really want to do at this current moment is accumulate into this level as we start getting this confirmation of that pivot, because it does look like we're reaching the apex of this descending wedge. Okay, so what again, price action is king, guys. Wait for some sort of structure, build a position into here, maybe get in with a small bag, wait for the run up, wait for the back test. Hopefully we get one. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we explode out of these zones with a lot of conviction to the point that we don't get the back test. That's why I like to DCA, and we might even get into a sideways range for a little longer here, in a very tight range right here at the bottom, allowing us to accumulate with comfort, right? We could go sideways here for a good while and then eventually roll over. We can make bigger waves, right? Bigger, like I suggested, bigger waves. It all depends on what happens here, and we should be waiting for that structural change before we start getting in. Let's take a look at the 4 hour here for a second. Lots of moves. You can see lots of volume coming in. And if you look at the oscillators, let's see what's going on with the momentum. Just quickly oversold and slowly grinding to the upside. Guys, the price action looks pretty good, and the 4 hour is looking great as far as trend. EMA is facing up, green histogram bars. It could be short-lived like we talked about on the daily, but at least we're going sideways now after a big sell-off. Guys, these sell-offs give us opportunity, and after each expansion to the downside, we are given an opportunity to scale in. Now, another thing I want to bring to your attention, guys, there's so much to be said here on this chart. Impulsive move, retracement, impulsive move. That's a three-way structure after a massive impulsive move, right? We got many waves into this, and then we got a three-wave structure to the downside, a corrective move to the downside. So I feel like this ABC is done. Given the fact that we came down to the 886, I feel like we are ready to look at this level for that, you know, type of structure, inverse head and shoulders, W formations, cup and handles, Adam and Eve patterns, and coupled with this bullish divergence, guys, some follow through in a back test, I'll be in it for sure. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. If you want to join me live tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.